Hello friends, I am Dr. Ashish Agrawat. Welcome to my channel Live Biochemistry. Today I am going to discuss about the vitamin D. So as you can see in the background, vitamin D we can get from the sunlight. So sunlight is a good source of vitamin D. This vitamin D is also called as a sunshine vitamin. Okay, we will see the other source of vitamin D apart from sunlight. The RDA recommend daily allowance of the vitamin D, functions of the vitamin D, and deficiency manifestation. Then if we know that vitamin D deficiency lead to rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. So we will see in detail about the vitamin D. Okay. So in vitamin D, there are plant source and one is in our human. There is vitamin D2 which is derived from the plants and it is called as a ergosterol. Okay, it is a sterol, it is synthesized from the cholesterol, and the plant source from plant vitamin D2 ergosterol is formed, while from the animal source vitamin D3 which is cholecalciferol. Okay, an active form of vitamin D is 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol, which is also called as in cholecalciferol there is a hydroxyl group, so there is 3 hydroxyl group, so it is called as a calcitriol, which is an active form of vitamin D. Okay, D3 mainly. So you can see here vitamin D2 is ergosterol and vitamin D3 is cholecalciferol. So when sunlight falls on the skin, the 7-dehydrocholesterol, which is the intermediate of cholesterol biosynthesis that is present in the skin epidermis, it is converted ultimately to cholecalciferol. Now this cholecalciferol go to the liver where there is a hydroxylation occur. Okay, and it forms the 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol. Enzyme is 25 hydroxylase present in the liver. Now this 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol is converted to 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol. Okay, so it is a hydroxylation at one position. Okay, and the enzyme is 1-alpha hydroxylase, which is under the control of parathyroid gland. Okay, so behind the thyroid gland there is a parathyroid gland which secretes the parathyroid hormone. So whenever there is a low level of calcium, this PTH is stimulated and it will at the kidney it will stimulate the 1-alpha hydroxylase enzyme. So it causes the hydroxylation at one position and ultimately it forms the 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol, which is also called as a calcitriol, which is the active form of vitamin D. As you can see, the 7-dehydrocholesterol that is present in the skin under the presence of ultraviolet rays of the sun, it is converted to secosterol. Ultimately, it is converted to cholecalciferol. Then this cholecalciferol in the liver, it is converted to 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol. And then in the kidney, there is a one position hydroxyl group is added. It is called 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol, which is also called as a calcitriol. Okay. So active form of vitamin D is 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol. Okay, now we will see what are the source of vitamin D. So cheese, butter, milk, fish, they are the good source of vitamin D. So all animal source. Okay, so main natural is sunlight. Apart from that, animal source like cheese, butter, dairy products, fortified milk, fish, they are the active source of vitamin D. Now daily requirement is around 5 to 10 microgram. and 1 microgram is equal to 40 international unit. So it is around 200 to 400 international unit. While in case of vitamin A, it was 1000 microgram and 2000 microgram. Here it is 5 to 10 microgram per day, or unit is 200 to 400. Okay, so that is the recommended daily allowance. Now it is absorbed just like vitamin A in the intestine along with the bile salts. So once active form is formed, so calcitriol is biologically active form of vitamin D. It will regulate the calcium and phosphorus level, very important minerals, which has a very important role in the bone. So like vitamin A has a role in the vision, vitamin D has a role in the bone by increase the absorption of calcium. So it acts at the level of intestine, it acts at the level of bone, and act at the level of kidney. So we will see one by one what is the role of vitamin D at the level of intestine. So at intestine, it increases the intestinal absorption of calcium and phosphate by increasing the synthesis of calcium binding protein. So we know vitamin D, it will go inside the nucleus of the cell and it will increase the transcription of, ultimately it will activate the gene that will express to KAL binding protein, that is called as a calmodulin. This calmodulin is synthesized with the help of vitamin D. Okay, vitamin B acts on the nucleus and it will activate the gene, and KAL binding protein, calmodulin is formed. They will bind with the calcium. Okay, so they increase the synthesis of calcium binding protein, and by that it will increase the intestinal reabsorption. Then at the level of bone, it will cause the mineralization of bone at low doses and mobilization of calcium from bone at the high doses. So depend on the requirement of the our metabolism and depend on the level of calcium, it will cause the mineralization. Mainly it will cause the mineralization of the bone. Then it will increase the reabsorption of calcium and phosphorus and decrease the excretion of calcium and phosphorus, vitamin D at the level of. So otherwise, if there is a vitamin D deficiency, then calcium, phosphorus will be excreted in kidney, in the urine. Okay. So whenever there is a decrease in calcium level, the PTH, which is a calcium sensor, so when decreased calcium, PTH is stimulated from parathyroid gland, and it will stimulate alpha hydroxylase, and by that it activates the vitamin D3, calcitriol. So calcitriol will increase calcium mobilization from the bone. Okay, it will increase reabsorption of the calcium and decrease renal excretion of the calcium, and at the intestine level increase the reabsorption. Okay, so ultimately this calcium, it will do the mineralization, help in the mineralization. And so from the bone, the calcium, phosphorus are removed and to maintain the calcium level. Okay, and whenever it is in enough amount, so if I say about the bone, what calcium, vitamin D will do, it will take up calcium and phosphorus from the bone. Okay, and by that it will increase the calcium level in the plasma. But when enough amount of calcium is there, then with the help of phosphorus, and it will be help in the mineralization, right? And by that it will help in bone growth, and so calcium level is maintained. So again I revise, if from the sunlight 7D hydrocholesterol, okay, with the help of UV light of 290 to 350 nanometer, it is converted to cholecalciferol. Okay, then liver, one hydroxyl group added at the 25 position. There is a confusion between whether this 25 at the liver or at the kidney. Remember, 25 at the liver, one hydroxylation at the kidney. So first is 25. So 25 hydroxylation, then at the level of kidney, 1 hydroxyl group is added. It is called as a 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol, which is also called as a calcitriol. Now this calcitriol will promote the calcium absorption from intestine. Okay, then it will decrease the it will increase reabsorption and decrease excretion of calcium, and the bone it will take up the calcium. Ultimately, it will increase the calcium. And dietary vitamin D2 and D3 that will take from the animal source, milk, fish, okay, meat. Then we get the vitamin D3, and then it is activated. So when there is a low calcium level, parathyroid hormone is activated. It will activate the kidney alpha hydroxylase enzyme is stimulated, and it will promote the vitamin D synthesis, and by that increase the level of calcium. While low serum phosphorus directly activate kidney and directly stimulate alpha-1 hydroxylase. Now, if vitamin D deficiency, in which condition occur? If there is an inadequate supply, as we say, the person who is living where the sun is not there so much, so inadequate supply of sunlight exposure is not there, or dietary source of vitamin D a person is not taking, or impaired absorption, impaired production of 25 hydroxy vitamin D, impaired production of 125 hydroxy vitamin D3 because of the defective enzyme of either 25 hydroxylase or 1 alpha hydroxylase, or there is a resistance of this calcitriol at the level of target tissue. So all this will lead to vitamin D deficiency. So in children it is called as a rickets, while in adults it is called as a osteomalacia. So what are the features of rickets? There is a delayed milestone. Vitamin D will act at the level of gene, and it activate many enzymes. Okay, so it will lead to the delay milestone, delayed closure of anterior frontal nail of the bone, delayed dentition, deformity of the bones, decreased serum calcium level. So all are the features of rickets. So in bone deformity, mainly the craniotabes, frontal bossing, ricketic rosary, pigeon chest, knock knee, bow legs, because there is a defective mineralization of the bone. So mainly the weight bearing bones are affected, and continued action of the muscle also cause the bone malformation. So in clinical manifestation will be bow legs, okay, knock knee, ricketic rosary, bossing of frontal bones, pigeon chest. All are the features because of the bone deformity in rickets. Then there is the enlargement of epiphysis at the lower end of the ribs and costochondral junction, and leads to beaded appearance of the ribs, which is called as the ricketic rosary. And what is Harrison sulcus? It is a transverse depression passing outwards from costal cartilage to axilla due to the indentation of lower ribs at the site of attachment of diaphragm. So we will see the diagram. Okay, don't worry. So, and osteomalacia, it is derived from the Greek word osteon, that means bone. There is a bone softness. Malacia means softness. So bone become insufficient mineralization and increase osteoporosis in adults. And it will lead to the low serum calcium and phosphorus and increase alkaline phosphatase. Right. So we can see there is a craniotabes occurs due to the thinning of inner table of occipital bone under the pressure of intracranial contents with the failure of mineralization. So defective mineralization lead to the craniotabes. Then there is a defective. This is called bow legs. Okay, this bow legs and knock knee. Okay, these are the bone deformity. So there is a wrist enlargement, tibial bowing is there. Okay. And this is, you can see, beaded appearance, costochondral junction. This is called as a ricketic rosary. Okay. Port belly shape abdomen and Harrison sulcus. Okay. So due to pulling off softened ribs by diaphragm during the inspiration. So frontal bossing is there, craniotabes. All are the features of vitamin D deficiency. You can see again beaded appearance, that is called ricketic rosary. Okay, so delayed closure of frontal nail, craniotabes, ricketic rosary, Harrison sulcus, okay, pectus, carinatum, dental hypoplasia, bowing of legs. All are the features of rickets. while in osteomalacia, it is occur in adult due to inadequate exposure to sunlight or inadequate dietary intake. Okay, so demineralization occurs mainly in the spine, pelvis, and lower extremity. Okay, so this is features of osteomalacia. So, if we revise so far about the vitamin D, so sunlight that will convert 7-dehydrocholesterol to cholecalciferol. Okay, it is converted 7-dehydrocholesterol is converted to secosterol, ultimately cholecalciferol. Then in the liver, 25 hydroxylation occur, 25 hydroxylase enzyme, it is converted to 25 cholecalciferol. In the kidney, under the effect of parathyroid hormone, 1-alpha hydroxylase will hydroxylate at one position and 125 dihydroxy. Okay, 25 position and one position. So dihydroxy cholecalciferol, which is also called as a calcitriol. And it has a 3 action at the level of intestine, increase reabsorption of calcium and phosphorus. At the level of kidney, increase reabsorption of calcium, phosphorus, and decrease excretion. And at the level of bone, it will cause the take up the calcium and phosphorus from the bone. Okay. And if there is a deficiency occur, then it is called as a rickets in children and osteomalacia in adult. What are the features? Craniotabs, okay, bossing of frontal bossing, ricketic rosary, beaded appearance at the postcochondral junction, then Harrison sulcus, bowing leg, knock knee. So all are the features of vitamin D. And what are the source? So one is sunlight and animal source, milk, dairy products, okay, fish, meat, all are the source of vitamin D. And plant source, they will form the vitamin D2, which is called as the ergocalciferol. Right. So this is about the vitamin D. Now, if we take the extra amount of vitamin D, it will lead to the hypercalcemia and metastatic calcification. This is all about the vitamin D. I hope you like my video. If you like my video, please hit the like button, share my video, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon so that you can get the notification for my future video. Thank you very much for watching this. Okay, so bye.